Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We're doing a 30-minute presentation, so we are going to jump right in and make the most of all of our time together. And a couple of very quick things for those who didn't hear it a moment ago. We are recording this, and for everyone who registered, you'll receive a recording and the deck that we go through, so you don't have to worry about taking notes on every little thing. And we are focused really specifically on one part of Open Supply Hub today and how suppliers and production locations use OS Hub and how others are encouraging suppliers to make use of that workflow. And so if you're looking for a broader overview of Open Supply Hub, we have lots of recordings and video tutorials on our YouTube channel and across our website. So feel free to go check those out if you're inspired by what you hear today and want to learn even more. And with that, I'm going to jump into an introduction of Open Supply Hub. For those who don't know me, I'm the Director of Stakeholder Engagement at Open Supply Hub. My name is Hannah, and looking forward to walking you through this topic today. We're going to go through how and why suppliers use Open Supply Hub. Francesca, who's with me today, will be giving a demo of that workflow. And then we'll talk about some case studies and testimonials and how other organizations are making use of this workflow. But very quickly to talk about Open Supply Hub and why this topic is so important. So when we think about supply chains and supply chain data and supply chain programs, the way that we actually do our work in real life often mirrors the way that our data is structured and vice versa. And so everything that we do at Open Supply Hub is about moving from a place where we're working in ways that are closed or exclusive, siloed or incomplete, engaging those we already know, to open and accessible, to building collectively, to filling each other's gaps, to finding those best poised for impact. And that's the spirit of everything that we do at Open Supply Hub, and also the topic that we're discussing today, with the goal that if everybody is working from and building from the same base data set, there's so much opportunity that can be unlocked. And so, if you're brand new to Open Supply Hub, one way that you can think about us is like a Wikipedia of supply chain data, where everyone who's touching supply chains and production locations can share information about the locations that they're working with. We clean it up, make it easy to use, and then that data is free and open in our public data set for anyone to search, download, layer different data sets. And there's lots of opportunity that can be unlocked from that database. There are three basic pillars to our model. The first is creating one free and open place that everybody can go to share data and to search supply chain data. So instead of having to go to lots of different databases and websites, finding different PDFs of supplier lists, or access to different systems or tools, everything is in one free and open place as a starting point to understand basic information about a production location and who's connected to it. The second piece, for those of you who dig into supply chain data a lot, probably know there's a wide variety in how different databases refer to different suppliers or production locations. So the names and addresses very specifically varying, even if you're even talking about the same location. And so our platform is built on a human in the loop machine learning algorithm that's taking all those variations and matching them together. So you get one clean profile for each production location with all those different versions of the names and addresses that live within it. And a very important part of that is how the suppliers and the production locations themselves are contributing to that profile. And that's what we'll be talking about today. But the third piece that I want to mention, and sort of where all of this is aiming for, is if we have one free open database that everybody is contributing to, if we're making that data really easy to use and standardize, then what that results in is the opportunity to find collaborators really easily. And so being able to see who are all of the different stakeholders who are connected to a particular region, a particular facility, a particular product line, a particular supply chain, and figure out how we can work together to make supply chains safer and more sustainable and build solutions together. And that's the ultimate goal that we aim for. One very specific piece that I want to talk about because it is critical to this workflow that we're going through today is our ID schema, the OSID, which you may have heard of. And so when I talked about that algorithm that's being used to match different versions of names and addresses of facilities to one profile, what happens on that profile is it's assigned this industry standard ID. It's free, it's open, it runs across all supply chains and sectors. And what that means is that if you're using an OSID, it's kind of this decoder ID that can connect all different types of systems and platforms and tools and stakeholders. And if you say this is the OSID of the facility I'm talking about, you know you are talking about the same place. And what's important is, so we have this profile with this ID and who's contributing sort of that rich information that lives alongside it. And that's where we get into the supplier workflow and how they use Open Supply Hub. Some of the challenges that we're looking at and that we're trying to address with this workflow, from the supplier, the production location, the owner or manager of these facilities, farms, mines, whatever the type of production might be, that we're looking at are information request fatigue on multiple platforms, also called audit fatigue in different circles, where somebody might be asked 8 to 50 to 100 times for the same basic information about their production from all different types of stakeholders. And they're spending countless hours putting the same information in over and over to these databases that they never get access to. They don't know where the information is going. And there's kind of this proliferation of their information in different places that they never get to see and are spending so much effort filling out. There's also a piece around version control where when you're creating all these different versions and when so many different stakeholders are working with that data, that's how these variations can really start to permeate the ecosystem. So many suppliers and production locations want to be able to raise their hands in these times where the focus is on due diligence and supply chain improvement and say, I want to be a partner in this, or these are the improvements that I'm making, and I want to be able to show the work that I'm doing and show potential customers that I'm here to be a partner. And I think I talked through everything on the supplier side. Then on the customer and partner side, there's this need for trustworthy, basic operational information, but also not wanting to overwhelm suppliers with all of these requests, being really aware of this information and audit fatigue problem. Figuring out who else suppliers are already working or partnering with, and finding suppliers best poised to work with you based on certain key data points. So there's sort of these mutual challenges and this need that we're looking to address across this workflow. And so how can Open Supply Hub help? What have we built? What are we here to talk about today? And basically, we have a specific workflow for suppliers to be able to come on to Open Supply Hub, look up their particular production location, confirm the name and address and basic details about that location, and then go on to claim their profile. And what that means is they're sharing some basic information that says whoever that person is who's claiming the profile is who they say they are and are connected to the location they say they're connected to. Once we confirm that paperwork, it essentially unlocks the ability for them to add a bunch of additional data points to their profile on Open Supply Hub with a checkbox next, or check mark next to all of the points that they add. And so you kind of get this sense of when the data is coming straight from the source, and you get these richer profiles that suppliers are filling out that only suppliers have access to be able to fill out. And so what that results in, better data for everyone, reduced burden on suppliers because they're filling out this one public profile with all of their basic information once, and then everybody can pull what they need from it. And then for those working with suppliers or suppliers who are looking to trace their supply chains as well, to collaboratively and openly trace supply chains together. And we'll talk a little bit about what that process looks like. And so I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Francesca, who's going to bring this to life and show you how it works.
Perfect. Thank you, Hannah. I'm going to just quickly share my screen and then we can get started. Okay. Can you see my screen with the OS Hub website? Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the workflow for suppliers that Anna was just talking about with a live example. So in order to do this, you'll need to have registered an account on Open Supply Hub. So you'll go ahead, click on Login Register. If you have not yet registered an account, you can go here and do it. If you have it, for example, I already have login details, I can log in. And then I'll go to this Add Data button up here in the right, and I'll be presented with two different options. On the left, we have an option to upload a spreadsheet, which I will talk more about this later. And then on the right, there is an option to add data for a single production location. And this is what we recommend suppliers to do, especially if they have few facilities, 1 to 5, that they want to add. So I'll click on Add a Single Location. And here I have a form that allows me to check if my production location is already listed on Open Supply Hub or not. I can check either searching by name and address if I have it, or if I already know the OSID identifier, I can also search using the OSID. For today's example, I am going to search using the name and address of the production location. So I'll enter the name of the company here and then the address. And then I select the country from this drop-down menu. So once I add all the information, let me just add one more part to the company name. I'll click on search. And you will be presented with a list of all the possible matches for facilities that are already in our database and have a similar name and address to the one that you entered. At this point, you'll just look through the list, find the one that is the best match for your facility. In this case, I can see the one that I wanted to submit is the very first one. So I can go ahead and click on select. It's possible that your production location is not already on Open Supply Hub. It's totally fine. You can add it as a new location, and you can do this by clicking on I don't see my location. So in this case, I found it, so I'll go ahead and click on select. And here I still have a chance if I want to edit the name and address. I also have the option to add additional information like the sector, product type, location type, and so on. Once I am done completing all the sections, I can go ahead and click update. So at this point, my submission has been sent to Open Supply Hub. You can see a confirmation message. You can see already your OSID that you can already start use and share with your stakeholders. You'll see that your submission is pending. This is because we have a process within our team to review your data and confirm that everything is accurate. And you can already proceed to claims. So you can do this by clicking on this button, continue to claim. You will see this screen which explains what is a claim and who is eligible to submit a claim. In general, owners and senior managers of the production locations are eligible for submitting a claim. We do want somebody who has enough authority to take ownership of the data and make sure that the profile is kept up to date. You will also be required to submit a few documents, and I will show you a bit more about what the documents are in a moment. So at this point, you'll just confirm that you are either an owner or senior manager at the production location, and then click on next. And this is the last step of the process. Here you'll need to provide your contact information, so your name, your title at the company. If you have a business website, you can enter it here. And then here you have some space to add the documentation. So we need to confirm two different types of information. One is the person submitting the claim, and we want to make sure that they are affiliated with the company and that they have the right level of authority to take ownership of the profile. So you can see examples here. You can submit a letter of employment, your LinkedIn profile, your employee badge, for example, something that confirms that you work for the company. And then the other section is the business contact information. So this is related to your company. You can provide, again, your business website or LinkedIn. The important point is that this information has the name and address of the location that you are trying to claim. Or you can also add a document like a utility bill or your business registration or business license. Once you have added all the information, you can click on Next and go ahead and submit the claim. The claims are reviewed by our team, and we aim to do the first review within the 10 to 14 business days, and you'll always receive email notification to confirm that everything is done. Once your claim is approved, like Hannah was mentioning earlier, you will always be able to find your claim facilities in your account. So you can go to My Account, My Facilities, and you see a list of all the approved claims for your production locations. I'll show you an example of what a claim profile looks like, and also you can add or edit more information. So in that page, you get access to this form where you can always add again sector, more information like your phone number and so on. There is a lot. I won't go through all of it, but there is a lot that can be added. And you can see your profile. So this is what Hannah was mentioning earlier. A claimed profile will have a green banner and this badge, which confirms that your production location has been claimed and confirmed by our team. And then any additional information that you add will be also displayed on your profile. Maybe one last point, as I was mentioning earlier, this is the workflow to submit one production location at a time. So if you only have a small number, we recommend to use this workflow, which is the easiest one. If you have a larger number, you're maybe a brand or a factory group or a service provider, and you want to upload a large number of production locations, like more than 10 or 15, you can use the option on the left. This is an option to upload multiple locations, and you can do this via Excel file upload. So this is the page where you can upload your file. And what I recommend doing is clicking on this link, which takes you to a guide, which has all the necessary information for how to prepare the file and how to upload it. And it also has the template that you can use to upload the data. Once you have uploaded all your production locations and our team has confirmed that they are published on Open Supply Hub, it's quite easy to claim. You can go on our website, you can look for your location, find the one that you wish to claim. Let's say this is the one that I submitted and I want to claim. And you can actually go ahead and claim it directly from the profile itself, clicking on this link. I want to claim this production location. And this takes you to the exact same workflow that I already showed you to submit the claim. Okay, I think that covers it. Hannah, let me know if anything else I should share.
No,
Otherwise,
great.
I'll hand over to you.
Perfect. I will share my screen again. And now that you've seen how it works, we'll just talk a little bit more about sort of the why and the benefit that different stakeholders are getting from this workflow, that you can see the key to which is it's free, it's easy, it's open, and once a profile is claimed, all the different stakeholders who work with that facility can grab all of that basic information from that one place. In terms of sort of our progress and what you can expect to see on the platform, as Francesca was showing, we have over 1.2 million production locations now mapped on Open Supply Hub. So the 1.2 million OSIDs existing and growing every day. We have over 1,700 different organizations sharing their data on our platform. So that's brands sharing their supplier list, service providers sharing the types of where they've done certifications or where they're collecting data on different facilities. And we have over 1,600 owners or managers of these production locations who've gone on to then claim those profiles. So if you're thinking about using Open Supply Hub, you're far from the first, and we have lots of different examples and ways to share sort of how we can benefit you. In terms of using the OSID and taking advantage of workflows like the ones we're showing you today, there are over 100 different platforms and organizations now who have adopted the OSID and are integrating this ID into their systems. And you can see some of those listed here. There are also brands and retailers, for instance, who are making Open Supply Hub part of their supplier onboarding, either mandating or strongly encouraging the use of Open Supply Hub and suppliers getting an OSID and claiming their profiles. And we can share some of those case studies and live examples to some of those policies in the chat here, so you can get a sense of sort of the breadth of different ways that the OSID is being used across different stakeholders. But I would say the number one question that we get when we're talking to those who partner with suppliers or with production locations is what's in it for them? Like, we don't want to adopt another system that's just going to create more burden for suppliers. There's so many different ways that they're being asked for information. And so that's the perspective that we really want to bring today and close out this session with. This is one quote you see on the screen from Arvind Limited, but most importantly, I'm so thrilled to welcome Jia Hui to the call, who's going to speak about her experience with Open Supply Hub. So I'll give the floor to you.
Thank you, Hannah. Hello, everybody. My name is Jia Hui, and I am currently in Thailand. But if you can see the background behind me, that's our building in Singapore. I'm a business development manager at Ishiseki, and we are an equipment supplier, and we serve the precision engineering sector from Singapore. So I have many clients who are manufacturers of aerospace components, of electronic components. And while I am aware that Open Supply Hub started off very focused on the fashion industry, I'm definitely seeing that our customers in the electronic supply chain, in the aviation supply chain, as well as increasingly in the medical technology supply chain, are having to respond to a lot of compliance requirements from their customers. And so as suppliers, when they list themselves on a platform like Open Supply Hub, I really think that it's a message, and not just being proactively responding to one customer requiring you to do it, but it's sort of putting yourself out there saying that, I'm ready to be compliant with any of the rules and regulations around ESG that you require me to meet. And I'm ready to kind of go above and beyond and collaborate with you on your own sustainability journey as my customer. So I think for suppliers, that's really the key benefit I feel is to put yourself out there and potentially, hopefully down the road, avoid many repeated audits. But I know OS Hub, it's not OS Hub's job to reduce audits, but I think that's always our pain point, getting audited by multiple different parties on very similar topics. Yeah, Hannah, I hope that helps.
That was perfect. Thank you so much. So I think with that, we'll talk about sort of what it's like to get started and how to use Open Supply Hub in the ways that we've been demonstrating today. And we have lots of different guides on our website in different languages. We have video tutorials. We have step-by-step instructions that you can read and walk through. We'll put some links in the chat. If you are on the call today and you are a factory group, somebody who works at a production location and either want to add and update your information on Open Supply Hub or go all the way through to claiming it, you can follow the steps that Francesca showed today, where you go on and search for your OSID, update your information, claim your profile, and then you can even ask your suppliers to go on and you can share your suppliers and ask your suppliers to go on and claim their profiles and trace your supply chains together. And then if you're somebody who partners with suppliers, with factories, with production locations, we have a template that we can share that you can use to reach out to your suppliers and say, hey, I've shared a list of the suppliers who I work with on Open Supply Hub. Please go on and claim your profile. These are the benefits for you. And then you're able to then get the data from those claimed profiles to use in your work. You can manually get it from the public good, or if you're interested in an API connection with Open Supply Hub, that can help automate how you get the data back back out from our database. And so with that, we are right on time at 30 minutes. We hope that you make use of this feature. Please do reach out if you have any questions. Our team is happy to support. And thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day or week, wherever you are in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.